Captain Min floated through the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Earth's most advanced warship. The silence of space surrounded the vessel as it patrolled the outer edges of human territory. 20 years had passed since Earth united after the Great War, and the defense fleet now protected humanity's fragile peace. Min's eyes narrowed as Officer Kim approached with urgency in her steps. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," Kim said, her voice low. "A signal from deep space." Min followed her to the communication station where Officer Lee worked frantically, his fingers dancing across holographic controls. "I've never seen anything like this," Lee said. "It's not human and it's not from any known source." Min leaned forward. "Let me hear it." Lee nodded and pressed a button. A haunting sound filled the bridge. Not quite music, not quite language, pulsing with a rhythm like a heartbeat. The crew fell silent, mesmerized by the alien cadence. "Can you translate it?" Min asked after a moment. "Working on it, sir. Our AI is processing the patterns now." The main screen flickered as the ship's artificial intelligence analyzed the signal. Words began to appear, fragmented at first, then forming complete sentences. "Help us. The Nox attack. We are peaceful. Cannot defend. Please help." Min's face remained calm, but his mind raced. In all of human history, this was unprecedented. A first contact initiated not by discovery, but by a plea for help. "Source location?" he asked. "Rigel sector, Captain. About 40 light-years from here," Kim replied. Min turned to his second-in-command, Commander Park. "Contact Earth Defense Council immediately. Priority Alpha." Within an hour, Admiral Chen's stern face appeared on the main view screen. The lines around her eyes had deepened since the war, a reminder of the burdens of command. "Captain Min, your report is concerning," she said. "Are you certain this isn't a trap?" "The signal appears genuine, Admiral. The species calls themselves the Lumi. They claim to be under attack by something called the Nox. And they're asking for our help? They must be desperate if they're reaching out to unknown aliens," Chen mused. Min nodded. "Or they know something about us that we don't know about ourselves." The Admiral was quiet for a moment. "The Council is divided. Some believe we should maintain our isolation. Others argue that this is why we built our fleet in the first place. What do you think, Admiral?" Chen's expression hardened. "Humanity almost destroyed itself, Captain. We became experts at warfare because we practiced on ourselves for thousands of years. If these Lumi are truly peaceful and facing extinction, then we might be their only hope," Min finished. "Exactly. And that makes us dangerous in a way these Nox may not understand." Chen straightened her uniform. "The Council has voted. You're authorized to investigate and render aid if the situation warrants it." Min felt the weight of history pressing down on his shoulders. "We'll prepare immediately." After the Admiral signed off, Min turned to his crew. "Set course for the Rigel sector, and alert the Iron Fist, Shadowblade, and Vengeance to join us." "Sir," Officer Lee spoke up, "I've completed the translation of the entire message. There's something else you should hear." The bridge speakers crackled with a voice that seemed to shimmer like light itself. "Earth vessels, we call to you because legends speak of your kind. In our ancient texts, humans are known as the species that survived themselves. You turned war into protection. Please help us survive too." A heavy silence fell over the bridge. Earth had kept its existence quiet, focused on rebuilding after nearly destroying itself. How did these aliens know about them? "It seems," Min said quietly, "that our reputation precedes us." As the Thunderbolt prepared to jump to light speed, Min stared at the stars. Humanity had spent centuries developing the art of war, perfecting destruction. Now, perhaps, they would finally use those skills for something better. "All stations prepare. For jump," he ordered. "We're about to answer a call that could change everything." The stars stretched into lines of light as Earth's most dangerous fleet began its journey toward a distress signal from the stars, and toward a new purpose for humanity's darkest skills. The massive hangar bay of Earth's orbital station hummed, with activity as engineers and crew members prepared the fleet. Captain Min stood at the viewport watching as the Iron Fist moved into formation alongside the Thunderbolt. The Shadow Blade and Vengeance were still being loaded with supplies and weapons. "Impressive, isn't it?" Admiral Park said, joining Min at the window. Her uniform bore the scars of Earth's last war, medals and insignia that told the story of humanity's violent past. 4 warships, the most powerful vessels humanity has ever built, Min replied. "And still I wonder if it will be enough," Park nodded. "We know nothing about these Nox except that they've terrorized a peaceful species. We're flying blind." Below them, hundreds of crew members rushed to complete final preparations. Earth had maintained peace for 20 years, but the military, knowledge remained, preserved in training programs, simulations, and the collective memory of veterans. "Captain," Officer Lee called from across the hangar, "the tactical team requests your presence in briefing room 3. Min and Park made their way through crowded corridors. Soldiers saluted as they passed, eyes bright with purpose. For many, this was why they had joined Earth's Defense Force, not to fight other humans but to protect. The briefing room was packed with officers from all 4 ships. At the center stood Tactical Officer Jin, her hands moving through holographic displays of star charts and weapons systems. "Captain, Admiral," Jin acknowledged them. "We've been analyzing the Lumi distress signal for tactical information." She expanded a hologram showing strange organic-looking vessels. "Based on the Lumi descriptions, we believe these are Nox ships. Notice the asymmetrical design, more like living creatures than constructed vessels." "Weaknesses?" Park asked. "Hard to tell without direct engagement," Jin admitted. "But the signal mentioned they attack in swarm patterns, suggesting each individual ship may not be very powerful." Engineer Kang stepped forward, his weathered hands manipulating the display to show Earth's ships. "We've modified our shield frequencies based on what little we know. The Shadow Blade's stealth systems have been enhanced to observe the Nox up close before we engage." Min studied the tactical projections. "And the weapon systems?" "That's where things get interesting," Jin said with a slight smile. "We've adapted our railguns to fire new composite rounds. If the Nox ships are organic as we suspect, these should be devastating." The room fell silent as the enormity of what they were about to do sank in. Humanity had never engaged in warfare beyond its own solar system. "I know what you're all thinking," Admiral Park said, looking around the room. "We spent centuries perfecting ways to kill each other. Now we're taking those skills into the galaxy." She paused. "But this time, we fight not for conquest or resources, but to protect those who cannot protect themselves." The briefing concluded with assignment details and communication protocols. As the officers filed out, Dr. Lee approached Min with concern in her eyes. "Captain, I've been studying the psychological profiles of the crew," she said quietly. "Many of them joined the fleet to ensure peace, not to wage war." Min nodded. "And now we're asking them to become what humanity has tried to leave behind." "Yes. Even for the right reasons, it may be difficult for some. Keep an eye on them, Doctor. This mission will test us all in ways we didn't expect." The final hours before departure passed quickly. Min walked the corridors of the Thunderbolt, speaking with crew members, sensing their mix of excitement and apprehension. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Kang supervised final adjustments to UAB, the jump drive. "She'll be ready, Captain. The modifications will give us a 15% boost in speed." "Good. We may need every advantage." On the bridge, Officer Kim reported from her communications station. "Sir, we've received another transmission from the Lumi. Their situation is deteriorating." Min took his command chair as the bridge crew settled into position. Through the view screen, he could see the other 3 ships moving into jump formation. Earth's most dangerous fleet assembled for the first time not to conquer but to save. "All ships report ready, Captain," Commander Park announced. Min looked at the faces around him. Humans whose ancestors had fought countless wars against each other, now united to protect strangers among the stars. "Send fleet wide," Min ordered. "This is Captain Min. Today we carry with us not just weapons and shields, but the weight of Earth's history. Let us prove that what nearly destroyed us can now be used to save others. Jump on my mark." The stars stretched and blurred as the fleet leapt toward a distant cry for help, carrying with them humanity's deadly legacy and its hope for redemption. The fleet emerged from jump space with a flash of light, systems powering back to full, as the 4 Earth vessels oriented themselves in the unfamiliar star system. Captain Min felt the slight shudder through the deck plates as the Thunderbolt's engines stabilized. "Status report," he ordered, eyes fixed on the main view screen. "All ships present and accounted for," Officer Kim replied. "Minor power fluctuations on the Shadow Blade, but they're correcting now." Commander Park moved beside Min's chair. "Sensors are detecting 3 habitable planets orbiting the star. The second planet appears to be under siege." The view screen shifted to show a beautiful blue-green world, but the space around it was filled with strange vessels, dark, almost insect-like ships moving in patterns that reminded Min of predators, circling wounded prey. "Magnify," Min ordered. The image zoomed in to reveal the alien ships in greater detail. Their hulls were not metal but something organic, with segments that pulsed and shifted like living tissue. Smaller craft moved between them like worker bees attending to a hive. "Those must be the Nox," Officer Jin said quietly. "Count shows over 50 vessels of varying sizes." "And the Lumi?" Min asked. "Detecting energy signatures on the planet's surface," Science Officer Lee replied. "Several large settlements but no orbital defenses or weapon systems that we can identify." Min straightened in his chair. "Open a channel to the planet." The bridge fell silent as Lee worked her console. After a moment, the screen flickered, and an alien face appeared. The being glowed with soft internal light, its features delicate and graceful. Large eyes studied the humans with what seemed like hope. "Earth vessels," the alien said, its voice melodic and soothing. "I am elder son of the Lumi. You have answered our call when we thought all was lost." Min stepped forward. "I am Captain Min of the Earth Defense Fleet. We received your distress signal and came to offer assistance." "The Nox arrived 3 cycles. Ego," Elder Son explained. "They have destroyed our orbital stations and hunt our people for food. We are scholars and builders. We have no weapons." As if on cue, alarms sounded across the bridge. "Captain, several Nox vessels have broken formation," Jin reported. "They're approaching our position." Min nodded to Commander Park, who activated the fleet-wide channel. "All ships, defensive pattern Delta, Shadow Blade, maintain position at the rear. Iron Fist and Vengeance, form up on our flanks. The Earth." Ships moved with practiced precision, forming a protective barrier between the approaching Nox and the planet below. "The Nox ships are scanning us," Lee reported. "They seem curious. They've never encountered resistance before," Min said, watching the alien vessels approach. "They don't know what to make of us." The lead Nox ship sent a transmission. Not words, but a series of clicks and high-pitched screeches that made several crew members wince. "Translation algorithm is working," Kim said. "It's primitive, basic concepts only." The computer translated, "New meat, strange vessels, submit or be consumed." Min's expression hardened. "Send our response. We are humans from Earth. The Lumi are under our protection. Withdraw immediately." The Nox ships continued their approach, accelerating suddenly as if charging. "They're not stopping, sir," Jin reported calmly. "Tactical analysis?" Min asked. Jin's fingers flew across her console. "Their outer hulls appear, organic but thick, detecting energy signatures consistent with weapons charging. Their movements suggest coordinated attack patterns like pack hunters." Min nodded. "Defensive shields at maximum. Prepare main cannons but hold fire until my command." The bridge crew watched as the distance closed between the ships. The lead Nox vessel fired first, a pulse of energy that splashed against the thunderbolts. "Shields. Shields holding at 97%, reported Engineer Kang. "Their weapons technology is less advanced than ours." 3 more Nox ships joined the attack, focusing their fire on the Thunderbolt. The ship trembled slightly under the assault. "Permission to return fire, Captain?" Jin asked, her hand hovering over the weapons controls. Min watched the Nox ships, noting their confidence, their expectation of easy victory. These were predators who had never faced serious resistance before. "Target their propulsion systems only," Min ordered. "Let's show them we can bite back without destroying them completely." The Thunderbolt's railguns fired with surgical precision, lancing through space and striking the lead Nox ship. The organic hull cracked under the impact, and the vessel spun away, trailing debris. Elder Sun's voice came through the comm system, filled with awe. "You disabled their vessel without destroying it. Such precision in warfare." "This isn't warfare yet," Min replied, watching as the remaining Nox ship suddenly pulled back, regrouping at a safer distance. "This is just an introduction. On the Nox command ship, the Hive commander observed the Earth vessels with newfound caution. For the first time in its long predatory existence, it felt something new and uncomfortable. Fear. The war room aboard the Vengeance hummed with activity as officers from all 4 Earth ships gathered around the tactical display. 3 days had passed since first contact with the Nox, and the initial skirmishes had given way to an uneasy standoff. "They're learning," Captain Min observed, watching the holographic representation of Nox ships regrouping behind one of the system's moons. "After our first engagement, they've changed their tactics." Admiral Park nodded grimly. "As predators often do when they encounter something unexpected. They're adaptable." Tactical Officer Jin manipulated the display, highlighting movement patterns. "The Nox have called in reinforcements from nearby systems. Our scans now count over 80 vessels. They're arranging themselves in this new formation like a hunting net." Min studied the pattern. In his 20 years of military service, he had studied countless battle strategies from Earth's bloody history. What he saw in the Nox movements reminded him of ancient wolf pack hunting techniques. "They think we're prey that's showing unexpected resistance," he said quietly. "They haven't realized yet that we are predators too." The room fell silent as his words sank in. Humanity had spent millennia perfecting the art of warfare against itself. Now, those hard-won lessons would be turned outward for the first time. "What do you propose, Captain?" Admiral Park asked. Min stepped forward, adjusting the holographic display. "We've been defensive so far, protecting the Lumi world. The Nox expect us to continue that pattern." A smile touched his lips. "Let's surprise them." Over the next hours, a plan formed that drew on military doctrines thousands of years old, adapted for space warfare. When the officers returned to their ships, there was a new energy in their movements, the focused intensity of hunters preparing for the hunt. On the bridge of the Thunderbolt, Min addressed his crew. "The Nox have never faced an enemy that could truly fight back. They've grown complacent, confident in their superiority." He paused, looking at each face in turn. Today that changes. The Earth fleet began to move, but not in the protective formation the Nox had come to expect. The Shadow Blade vanished first, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible to Nox sensors. The Iron Fist and Vengeance spread out, apparently exposing weaknesses in their defensive line. "The Nox are taking the bait," Officer Kim reported, from her station. 3 attack groups moving to exploit the gaps. Min nodded. "Just as they would chase fleeing prey. Begin Operation Thunderstorm." Across the system, dozens of small drones launched silently from the Earth ships, their minimal power signatures hidden among the natural radiation of the star. They drifted toward the advancing Nox vessels, undetected. On the Nox command ship, the Hive commander clicked in satisfaction as it observed the Earth vessels apparently making a mistake. These strange new creatures were strong, yes, but ultimately, they would be consumed like all others. The commander signaled the attack groups to press forward into the exposed areas. "Nox forces committed to the attack," Jin reported, watching her tactical display. "All units in position." Min's voice was calm as he gave the order. "Execute." At once, the drones activated, surrounding the Nox attack groups with a web of energy fields that disrupted their organic guidance systems. The Shadow Blade reappeared behind the Nox fleet, cutting off their retreat with precision fire from its railguns. Meanwhile, the seemingly vulnerable Iron Fist and Vengeance revealed their trap, unleashing a barrage that targeted the joints where the organic sections of the Nox ships connected. The Thunderbolt drove straight toward the Nox command ship, its advanced weapon systems firing in patterns designed to disable rather than destroy. "Keep pressure on their command structure," Min ordered. "Don't let them coordinate a response." Across the battlefield, Nox ships spun in confusion. Their hunting patterns dissolved into chaos as they faced an enemy that didn't behave like prey. An enemy that understood predatory psychology and used it against them. On the Lumi world below, Elder Sun and his people watched in amazement as the night sky lit up with the battle. They had called for help, hoping for protection, but what they witnessed was something else entirely. An exhibition of warfare as art, refined over thousands of years of human conflict. The Nox flagship is attempting to rally their forces, Jin reported. Shall we destroy it? Min shook his head. No. Disable their propulsion and weapons, but leave them intact. I want them to carry a message back to wherever they came from. Hours later, as the remaining Nox vessels retreated in disarray, Min stood on the bridge watching them flee. What had begun as a rescue mission had become humanity's announcement to the galaxy. They were not just another species to be hunted. Send to all ships, Min ordered quietly. The counteroffensive was successful, but remain vigilant. This isn't over. In the shadows of the distant moon, the damaged Nox command ship drifted, its hive commander experiencing an emotion that had never before existed in its species, respect for prey that had become predator. 6 months had passed since the battle that drove the Nox from the Lumi system, where once there had been only the gentle Lumi settlements. Now a small Earth station orbited the blue-green world. The station's sleek design contrasted with the organic architecture of the Lumi cities below, a metal guardian watching over its new allies. Captain Min stood in the observation deck, hands clasped behind his back as he watched shuttles move between the station and the planet. The Thunderbolt and Iron Fist remained in system, while the Shadow Blade and Vengeance had been dispatched to patrol nearby sectors, hunting down the last pockets of Nox resistance. Quite a view, isn't it? Admiral Park said as she joined him at the window. Her uniform now bore a new insignia, Director of Galactic Security, a position created after Earth's successful defense of the Lumi. It's still hard to believe, Min replied. 6 months ago we had never made contact with alien life. Now we're building alliances across 12 star systems. Park nodded, her eyes tracking a Lumi transport as it glided toward the station. Word. Travels fast. After what happened here, every peaceful species in this sector wants Earth's protection. The station's intercom chimed softly. Captain Min, Admiral Park, the Lumi delegation has arrived for the council meeting. The 2 officers made their way to the station's conference room, where representatives from 6 different alien species waited. At the center sat Elder Sun, his luminescent form glowing softly as he rose to greet the humans. Captain Min, Admiral Park, Elder Sun said, his melodic voice carrying through the room. The Coalition appreciates your continued guidance in these matters. Min nodded respectfully as they took their seats. The Coalition of Protected Systems had formed quickly after news spread of how Earth's fleet had defeated the Nox. Species that had lived in fear of predators like the Nox now looked to humanity as guardians. We've received reports from the outer systems, a reptilian delegate named Thex announced. The last known Nox hive ship has retreated beyond the galactic arm. They appear to be avoiding any system with Earth presence. And the defense training for your people? Park asked. Progressing well, another delegate responded, this one a crystalline being whose voice chimed like bells. Though many of our species find combat difficult to embrace. Min understood their hesitation. These were peaceful civilizations that had evolved without the constant warfare that had shaped human history. They had never needed to develop the skills that Earth had perfected through bloodshed. It is ironic, Elder Sun said, sensing Min's thoughts. When we sent our distress signal, we had no idea what we were calling to our aid. Your people's history of conflict, the very thing that might have destroyed you, is what saved us all. After the meeting concluded, Min walked with Elder Sun through the station's garden area, designed to mimic the Lumi homeworld's environment. Small glowing insects, a gift from the Lumi, floated among exotic plants. There is something I have been meaning to ask you, Captain, Elder Sun said as they paused beside a reflecting pool. Your people could have conquered us all after defeating the Nox. Why choose to protect instead? Min considered the question carefully. Humans spent thousands of years conquering each other. We nearly destroyed ourselves in the process. He watched the glowing insects dance above the water. When we finally united, we promised ourselves never again. We didn't want to bring that legacy to the stars. Elder Sun's light pulsed thoughtfully. Yet you brought your weapons. Yes. Because we learned the hard way that peace must sometimes be defended. Min smiled slightly. We hope to teach your people how to protect themselves so that one day, you won't need us. Later that evening, Min stood on the bridge of the Thunderbolt preparing for a patrol mission. Reports had come in about unknown vessels at the edge of Coalition space. Not Nox, but something different. Captain, Officer Jin said from her tactical station. Transmission from Earth Defense Command. Admiral Chen's face appeared on the view screen, her expression serious. Captain Min, we've received distress signals from 3 more systems beyond Coalition space. Different species, similar situations, predators threatening peaceful civilizations. Min nodded slowly, understanding the implication. Earth's fleet had been summoned by one distress call, only to find its true purpose among the stars. The Council has made a decision, Chen continued. We're establishing permanent defense outposts in all threatened systems that request our help. Your experience makes you the ideal choice to lead this initiative. As the Thunderbolt moved away from the station, Min looked back at the Lumi world growing smaller in the view screen. A single distress signal had transformed humanity's place in the galaxy, turning Earth's most dangerous fleet into something no one could have predicted. Guardians of the peaceful. The legacy of Earth's violent past had become the foundation for a future where strength served protection, not conquest. And in that transformation, humanity had finally found its redemption among the stars.